Hello and welcome to the Windchill 10.0 technical presentation. My name is Rastislav Bilko, and today I would like to show you some of the Windchill 10.0 capabilities together with the value which you can achieve from using Windchill in your company. So let me start to tell you a few words about product development system. Windchill as product lifecycle management is only one part of complex PTC's product development system, or PDS. And as you can see on the slide, the Windchill is displayed in the middle of the slide together with the modules which are included in the Windchill. The other boxes represent with a dark blue color additional modules, additional Windchill modules, which you can use together with Windchill. And the light blue boxes represent additional software which is directly integrated into Windchill through Workgroup Manager. And last, the green boxes represent the third-party software which can be also connected or integrated into Windchill, like ERP systems, Rational, or ECAD systems like Cadence, Mentor, Suken, and so on. So as I told you, the Windchill, together with the modules like document management, workflow management, visualization, change and configuration management, this is the part which I will focus on today's presentation. But the product development system is not only Windchill, and it's all this software together. And when using product development system, the main advantages of using it is that you can have all the product data and product related data you can have stored in one place, and of course there are links between these different information from different software. So this was a few words about product development system, and now please let me show you some Windchill capabilities. Windchill Windchill is a fully web-based architecture, and the advantages of using web-based architecture is that you don't need any additional software have installed on your machine. Only thing you need is to have internet browser like Mozilla or Internet Explorer or other internet browsers, and of course you need to have account defined in the Windchill system. So let me demonstrate how you can access the Windchill. So if you start with the blank page, you can click on links in your browser, and the system prompts you to log on to the system. So as I said, all you need to do is to enter your user and password information, and if you enter it, the system redirect you automatically to the Windchill. So I have Windchill open before, so I return to the page, and the first page you can see when you log in the Windchill is your home page. All users have their own home page, and they can fully customize or configure the home page by your own. So on the home page, you have displayed all the information, all the necessary information you need to know about your recent work, or about your actual work, or about your assignments resulting from the workflow, which I will tell you a little bit more later. So the first in the first table, there are displayed your task assignments resulting from the workflows and from the project, as I told you earlier. On the second table, updates, there are displayed your recently work or recently object which you were modify in the database. And in the last table, there are displayed your checked out work, so the object which you are currently modifying. Modifying of object in Windchill work in principles of checking out the object from database, and you indicate that in the small yellow boxes you indicate other users that you are modifying these objects, and after you finish your work you have to check in back the object to the database, so the other users can see your updates on the object. So in the last table, in the home page, you have displayed object which are you currently working on. Of course, you can customize this home page. You can reorder tables. You can display any other information related to your work. So the main purpose of your home page and advantage of your home page is that all the information you are currently working on or you are recently updated are displayed on one place, and from this home page you can navigate to other Windchill pages with the object you are interested in. So let me switch off the another tables. Now let's continue with the other useful Windchill tools. As you can see, on any Windchill page, you have displayed the navigator on the left side of the page, and by using this navigator, you can browse the database for the object, or by another tab, you can search on the database for the object you are looking on. So let's go start with the browse. And if you click on the browse tab, you have displayed the containers in which you are a team member. So the first container is product. Second container is libraries. The other is project, changes, and I act as an organization administrator, so I have displayed also the organizations icon. When I am only a member of the team and not organization administrator, I can see only the first four icons, so product, libraries, project, and changes. Or I can click on the recently visited, and I have displayed all the containers I am in which I am member of. So the browsing the Windchill database is very easy. You can click on the container you are interested in, and you can click on any link in this container. Of course, you can pin this navigator, so the navigator still remains open, and you can browse the database without hiding the navigator. So let me tell you a couple of words about containers. The containers are the main storage areas for the data in the Windchill database, and the containers are, as I told you earlier, products, libraries, and the main container are product, libraries, and project. The differences between products and libraries is that in a product you have stored all the data which are related with specific product. So in this case, this is ventilator product, and in this product I have stored any information related to the ventilator, so CAD designs or documents or manufacturing documents and so on. In a libraries are storage area for common data for all your product. So this can be a standard parts library where you can have stored screws, nuts, washers, and so on. So the object which you are using not only in a one project or one product, but you are using these objects in many or in all your products. So this is the only and the main difference between product and library. And of course, about project I will tell you a little bit more at the end. But also the project, you can browse the project for objects which are specific or related to the project. Okay. The data in the project are hierarchically stored in the folders, so you can organize your data by folders, and you can store specific data in specific folders. So for a ventilator product, I have stored my CAD data in a CAD design folder. Manufacturing data I have stored in a manufacturing folder, and there can be many more folders or folder structure organized in a product. So you can organize your data as in your hard disk, but with the advantages of that all your data are linked together, and there exists relationship between the data. So the other tool how you can find your data is to search the database. So you can use or search the database using Search tab in your navigator, and in this tab you have displayed your recent searches in the left side, or your administrator or you can define saved searches which you can use, and you don't need to define any searches, but simply clicking on the link you can search the database using this saved search. This one search is attribute search for a object which attribute MOVEX code. I can enter and after clicking on enter, the system perform the search in database, and I can see all the data which match my entered searches. Or I can return to my search history, and I can edit any searches which I performed recently in the database, and the objects are returned in my search results table. The other way how can I search the database is using the box in the top of the all Windchill page. So if I enter any keyword here, the system search the database, and if any object are matched my search criteria, I can see the search result. I'm sorry. Maybe I have defined that keyword, but as you see earlier, I can see the database using searches. So there are my recent searches are also displayed when I click on a arrow in this box, and there I can return to my search history, or I can perform advanced search either in the all database. The other way how I can search not the database but specific folders is when I have displayed many objects in a folder, and I just want to display objects that match my search criteria. I can enter the keyword on the box over the table, and if I click on the enter button, the results which match my criteria are displayed on the table, so I can see only the object which I am currently interested in. And when I want to return back, I simply clear the searches, and the system returns me back to the folder display. Okay, there are many default. There are displayed many information in the table, like number of the object, name of the object, version of the object, life cycle state of the object, and when the object was lastly modified. But if you can have more information about the object displayed in a table, you can define your own table view. And in this case, if you can click on some stored table views, you can have displayed more information in the table, like the attributes which are transferred from a CAD system. So many Windchill pages are displayed as table view or as a structure, and any of these pages you can customize by your own, so you have displayed the necessary information on a table or in the structure, and you don't need to search for this information on the details page of the object and so on. So as you can see, the actions which you can perform on the object, if you want to perform any action of the object, you simply click on the object, and using the right mouse button you access all the actions for which you are access right. So you can perform operation on one object or on multiple objects, and if you click on right mouse button, it's context sensitive, so you have this display only information you can perform on the object. Let me switch on the structure view of the object. So if you click on the hyperlink with the name of the object, or in the small I will show you. In the small icon view information, you are redirected to the details page of the object in the database. In the details page of the object, you have displayed any necessary information related to this object, which are hierarchically displayed in the page. So in the top of the page you have displayed visualization and attributes for the object, then general information about the object like version, authoring application, and so on. Then you can have displayed your own information, which I call IPM attributes. So these attributes are related to my company and are transferred from CAD system, like MOVEX code, alias, drawing number, and so on. And the last part of this details page is there are system information like context, who created the object, when it was created, who last modified the object, when it was last modified, and so on. There are many other tabs in the details page of the object. So you can display context tab when you are displayed the content of the object. So this is the s.r.o file and representation and annotation, which I will tell you a little bit more later about representation and annotation. Then you can display related objects. So these are the parts. I will tell you a little bit more about parts later. And where the current object is used in which assemblies. In this case, this object is used only in one assembly, but if the object will be used in more assemblies, there will be, in this table will be displayed all the assemblies in which the object is a member of. And of course, you have displayed all the related drawings for my CAD model. You can display changes. About change management, we will speak a little bit more later. So related changes, there are change requests and change notices for the object, or in which the object are affected by this change object. And of course, you can see a history of the object, where is displayed version history and the timeline history of the object. This specific object is only in the first iteration, so you have only one object display, one row displayed in the table. So now let me tell you a little bit more about visualization. Every object stored in the database can be visualized by Windchill visualization services. And after this object is visualized, you can see the object in the s.r.o view browser, which is part. Every users which have access to the Windchill can use this software for investigating the model. The advantages for your company of this s.r.o view browser or s.r.o view viewer is that also the users which don't have installed native applications in which object was created can have or can display and perform some investigation on the model. So the managers who don't need to have installed s.r.o parametric on their machine can also view the models and investigating the models or drawings by using this s.r.o view. So this is the big advantages of using this s.r.o view. You can perform many in s.r.o view. You can perform many operations like sectioning the model, so you can investigate the section and model, and the section is dynamic. So if you click on the view section, you can drag and drop the section plane, and you can dynamically see the updates on your window. And additionally, you can display the 2D view of your section, and if you will drag the section plane, the section of the currently position is dynamically updated also in 2D views. Okay, I can hide the 2D sections and switch off. I can click on the objects on the left side pane, and as you can see, the selected object I can visually see in the main window. Of course, if I click on the object or in the model in a graphic view, I can see the name of the objects in the structure. I can perform many more operations, like I can explode the model. So if I click on the object, there are displayed the arrows with direction in which I can move the model, and I can investigate this assembly by using the explode view. Of course, I can rotate the model. I can isolate the selected model in my window, and of course I can restore the location of the model, of all the models. Okay, so if you click on the object, the Creo view browser will open, and except the sectioning and the repositioning of the object, you can perform operations like measures. So the users which don't have native cat tool, or the other users, can investigate or can perform the measures on the models, and of course they can annotate the model. So I can create any annotation with the text, and after that I can save this annotation set for further reusing or for other users. And if I store the annotation, all my annotation will be displayed on the annotation set stuff. When I return back to the folder view, you can see that the little thumbnail with the visualization is displayed also next to name or number of the object. So if you move your mouse over the small thumbnail icon, you can investigate or see the shape of the model also in this tool. Except model, of course, you can open also the drawings in the Creo view, so you can investigate or control also the drawings. And of course you can mark up the drawing. So now let me switch to the document management. So as I told you earlier, one of the main advantages of Windchill, of using Windchill, is that you can have store all the information related to the product in one place. So not only the CAD data, but also the documents you are created for this product, you can have stored in the Windchill. Working with documents in Windchill is very easy, and you can use the traditional Windows Explorer to work with documents. So you can browse the Windchill database for a document using Windows Explorer, and you can browse your products and navigate through the folder structure in your product so you can see the documents. But now I want to show you how easy it is to create the new document. So if I want to create a new document, I simply find or create the document in my hard disk, or of course I can create the document in Windchill, and then I can drag and drop the documents to Windchill, and after that the Windchill prompts me for more information about this document. So I can define a type of the document. For purposes of this presentation, I'll create a soft type of document, so you can create many soft types of documents or other objects, and then when you perform searches or browsing the database, you can refine your searches to the specific soft types of the object. So in this case, it could be manufacturing documents, or it can be simply the general documents. Windchill automatically select the pre-select folder to which I want to create the document, and automatically create based on rules, create the name of the document. So all I need to do is click on the OK button, and my document will be created in the Windchill. So you can see the document was created, but also if I look in the folder structure by using Windchill, I can see that this document is created in the Windchill. Windchill provides ability for the users to work with the Office document by using Office integration. So if I want to edit the document, I don't need to open my Microsoft Office application first. Simply, I need to click on the document and click on Checkout and Download action. And in the background, system automatically download the file for me. And in the Microsoft Office application, there is displayed additional tab with Windchill action, which allows me to edit this document or to perform another actions of the document. So I can create new Windchill document from template. I can search the Windchill database for the document directly from the Microsoft Office application, and then I can, if I edit the document, I can check in back documents to the database. So I can provide additional information on the check-in. And after that, I can see that object in the database was modified and the iteration number for the object was increased from 1. Of course, I need to refresh the page. And the iteration number increases from 1 to 2. Because when you modify any object in the Windchill, as I told you earlier, it works in principles of checking out the object, and after the edit was performed, you have to check the object back into the database, and after perform this action, the iteration of the object will increase, so it will inform you that you modify the object. And of course, if I click on history page of the object, history detail page of the object, I can see the iteration on revision or revision history of the object, also with the comments I enter when I check the documents in the database, and also I can see the history of the document or any object in the timeline history table. So the Microsoft Office integration is very useful tool for working with and editing the traditional Microsoft Office documents like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or Outlook information in Windchill. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about the structures. So, as I told you earlier, the Windchill or the showing the Windchill object is not only show the objects in the folders, but you can also display the structure of the object. For example, for CAD data in a Windchill, and of course you can create your own view of the structure. So for these purposes, I created the IPM structure view, and there are also displayed information which are interested for me, like attributes, MOVEX code, alias, drawing number, and so on. If I click on the object, in the structure, on the right side pane, I can see the information like in the details page on the object. So there are CAD documents attributes, my company attributes, and the usage attributes of the object. Of course, there are revision, but revision are also displayed in the column. So you can organize your own structure view. And if I click on the assembly, I can show the users, so the objects which are member of this assembly. So these are the structure view for the CAD document. And now I want to tell you a more about product structure. So as I told you earlier, in the database, there are not only CAD documents or documents stored in the Windchill, but there are also the objects which are called WT parts or Windchill type parts, which are represented or which represents which can represent ERP items, or which can represent BOM, bill of material, for your product. The main advantage of using this product structure or WT structure is that it can be created without any CAD data. So you can create a product structure without CAD data. You can attach the different documents like scans or concepts to this product. But you can also derive this product structure from your CAD design, and the product structure is automatically built from this product structure. And the advantages of using this product structure is that you don't have only CAD information related to the associated to the product, but you can attach or links another information to these WT parts, like other documentation. So as you can see, in the selected item, it's the top level item of my structure, so ventilator. There are not only CAD information attached to this, so top level assembly and the top level drawing, but there can be also attached some additional information like documents, or it can be pictures, movies, and so any other documents. And by using links, you can display that these objects are linked or associated with the top level object. Of course, you can see the top level object for the structure or for the item also using the related objects tab, so you can see that for this top level object there are displayed documents. There are also some CAD or dynamic documents, and of course you can see the alternates for the object and substitutes for the objects, which I will tell you later. Okay, so let's go back to the structure and switch off the related information. You can expand your product structure, and you can display more information about the object. In this case, I mean, you can display any indicators for the object. In this case, it's the indicator of pending changes or alternates or substitutes for the object. So if there is an icon in the structure, it's the little orange or red triangle that indicates that this object is a part of pending changes. So for this object exists any change object in the database, and the user who are responsible for performing the change need to investigate the object and then, of course, modify the object based on instruction in the change notice. I will tell you about changes a little bit more later. So except this indicator, you can have another indicator about replacement of the object. So this means that for this object or this object in the structure can be replaced by another object. And replacement for the objects can be alternate or can be substitute. Alternate means that the objects can be replaced by replacement object in every structure, in every product structure in the database, and the substitutes indicates that objects can be replaced by replacement object only in this actual or this current structure. So you can use or edit, if you have access right, you can edit the product structure using Uses tab. And the editing of the product structure is very simply. So you just enter the keyword and system automatically search on the database and with the matched keyword, and you can add another object to the database. Oh, I'm sorry. Another object to the current structure. Of course, you can perform you can perform the report on the current product structure. So in this case, it's the multi-level BOM report. And after clicking on this report, the system redirects you to the page when you have displayed multi-level report for this product with the information about this product. Of course, you can customize the view of this report so you can display additional columns or information like in a folders page or in a structure page. And you can export this product structure to different file formats, so CSV, HTML, PDF, Excel documents, XML documents, and so on. This report capability is included in the Windchill, but except additionally, if we are using third-party software called Cognos, you can perform any additional or custom reports which are defined for your products or for your structures. And this Cognos software provides many more ability and many more functions which you can do with your reports. I have an example, but I need to find it, of Cognos reports in my disks. So So there it is. This is an example of report running using Cognos. This is the base report, but as I told you, you can perform many advanced reports on your structures. Okay, so this was one way how you can modify the product structure. The other way how you can modify the product structure is using product structure browser. So if you click on the object and click on the open in product structure explorer, the system launches the Java application called product structure explorer, in which you can modify or you can see information about the object. So this is product structure explorer, and also in this product structure explorer you can have displayed many information about the object, like identity of the object, object attributes. Of course, when you click on the different object in structure, then the left pane updates with information about this object. You can click on uses and edit the product structure using same way like in HTML. You can display information for using the object. Of course, you can display documentation for the object. So you can see that for this object there are attached some documents. And in the right pane, you can display any indicator or some indicators. Like in previous HTML view of the structure. So you can see that for these objects in the database, for the top level objects in the database, there exist documents. For the NAT, for this object exists replacement. So if I click on replacement, I can see that for this object, or this object can be replaced by another NAT in the database. So it indicates me a little icon with has substitute node. And also I can have indicators about that for the objects in the database there are attached CAD documents. So the structure is built from CAD document. As you can see, for the 3 objects, first 2 and the last object, there is not icon identified, but about the CAD document. So this means for this object doesn't exist equivalent CAD document in the database. But as I told you earlier, you can create the product structure not only from CAD, but you can create product structure or edit product structure by adding some items directly to the product structure without CAD representation. And these are cases for I don't know, maybe glues, or for welding rod information, and so on. And so the objects which are not physically represented by CAD and don't need to be added to the CAD structure in the CAD tool. So this is two ways how you can modify or display the information about the product structure and how you can investigate the product structure. These are Product Structure Explorer and the HTML browser, which I told you earlier. So now let me tell you a little bit more about change management capabilities in Windchill. Windchill provides robust change management capabilities based on CM2 standards, and the advantages of using change management in Windchill is that all information regarding the changes are stored in one place. So at the beginning, let me switch to my home page. And in my home page, in assignments table, there are displayed, as I told you at the beginning, there are displayed task assignments resulting from the workflows. And all the change management tasks and assignments are distributed through the workflows to the users which need to perform the current change activity or current change task. In this case, I act as a change administrator, so my task for the related change is I need to audit the performed change notice in the database, and if I click on the task, I can see that there are displayed information or instruction for performing this operation. Of course, you don't need to check your database or check the database daily or check the database for your assignments, but all the assignments related from workflows and from change management workflows are distributed by the emails. So if I switch on my Outlook, I can see that all information are the information or tasks are distributed by email. So this one is the mail which informed me about auditing the change notice, and when I click on the hyperlink in the emails, I can switch to the same page which I had displayed earlier. So this is the same page, and you don't need to check your database. Simply click on the links on the emails. Okay, this is the page with the change notice, and if you want to investigate the change, you can open the task assistant with information about the change, and of course you can then browse the database and investigate if the change was performed correctly. So if you click on the change notice, on the first details of the change notice, there are displayed any information about the change notice, so the name, who acts as the change administrator, for which product this change is related, and of course the objects which are affected by this change notice. So in this case, this is the top level item, and as I told you earlier, there are in database, in every page with the object in the database, there are indicators that this object is a part of the pending changes. So the little orange triangle indicates me this. I can investigate the implementation plan for the object. So I can see who acts as assignee for perform the operation, who acts as reviewer for the change task, and also the objects. And I can see the process for the change notice. So there are displayed the roles for the change notice and also the activities which were performed, which was performed for this object. So the user Buchatsky completes the change notice task based on instruction, and me as a reviewer, I reviewed the change notice. There are information when the process activity was performed, and of course I can display the workflow for the change for this current change activity. Okay, this displays the change activity workflow. Change activity is a part of the change notice task, and as you could see, it was finished by the user. So you can investigate, or you can see how the workflow for the change activity was performed, and there are in the workflow view, there are information about this change activity. There are some user activities which are indicated by the small face icon, or there are system activities like system robots or email robots and so on. Okay, if I investigated the change, I can enter the comments and I can return to my task page. As you could see, the task assistant was at the top of any pages I browsed on, so I can simply return to the pages, and of course I can see the workflow for the change activity. And as you can see with the green box indicated over the user face icon, this indicates that the process the process for change notice is not finished, and there is an activity for the users, in this case for me, that I need to perform to finish the change the change process. So if I simply click on complete task, I can complete the task for this change object, and I will show you this later. So how to create the change for the object? Changes or change objects in the Windchill database are problem reports, change request, and change notice. And all these change objects has their own workflow, own assignments. So simply I can browse for the objects in the database, and by using the right mouse button I can create new, for example, change request for the object. And sorry. And I can provide information about name, category, date when the change needs to be completed, description of the change. I can enter proposed solution and so on. And when I click on the next step, I can see that object for which I created the change is automatically added to the table. So I can add another object for the change request. So if I modify the model, I can add, of course, I need to add the drawing for the model, and then I can set the attachment, set the associated changes, and finish the creation of my change request. And the system prompts me if I want to start the change process now or I want to submit it later. So if I click on submit now, the workflow process for the change request will start in the database, and I receive an email with information, or not I, but change administrator receive an email with notification that he needs to analyze the change request and propose if the change will be performed or will be rejected in the database. In this product, I act as a change administrator, so I received an email, or as I told you earlier, in my home page, I can see that the activity analyze change request. So these are instructions for me. These are the workflow which I can investigate, and I can enter the comments simply clicking on complete task, I can complete the task information. So as you can see, the analyze change request activity is distributed also by email. Okay, let me show you another example of a change notice. With using another which need to be performed by another user. And in this example, I will show you also the cat data management. So I'm logged on as the friend user, and there are activity for me to complete the change activity tasks. And if I click on the change activity, there is instruction for me. So please increase the hole diameter to 60 millimeters, and there are affected objects with indicator with triangle indicator that these objects are part of the change process. So what I need to do is to change the hole diameter for the object which is part of the change notice. And me, as a traditional CAD user, I don't need any special tools. I just perform my work like usually. So this is s.r.o parametric, open, and I will start with the clear workspace, and I need to download my objects to my workspace so I can modify the object. Of course, I can open the object and browse the database for the object, but also I have the search capabilities embedded in s.r.o. So I just enter my search information, and if I click on the icon, I can open the object directly in the s.r.o. So this is the object for me which I need to change the hole diameter. I open also the model, and as you can see, now the object was automatically downloaded to my workspace in the background, and I need to modify this object, but object was downloaded, but are not yet checked out from the database. I don't need to do any special action. I just need to edit my diameter, and if I click on the dimension icon, the system prompts me that I don't have the object checked out from the database, and as I told you earlier, all the actions all the modifications on the objects in Windchill are performed based on checkout, check-in operation. So system prompts me for check out the object on the fly, and if I click on the OK, the object will be automatically checked out from the database. And I can modify the diameter of the object, and of course I need to save the object to my workspace, and then I need to update the drawing. So I can check out the drawing on the fly, I'm sorry. I can the update sheet, so the diameter of the hole will update, and I can save the object to the workspace. And after I finish my work, I need to check the object back into the database. And of course, I can enter my check-in comments or leave the field blank, and I can check the object back in the database, so the updates or modification will be displayed for other users. So this is the CAD management using Windchill, and as you could see, there are no special actions. You just perform your work like usual, and you can modify the objects. Okay, so I perform my changes like the user party, and then I can complete my change notice and run the workflow to the next step. So as you can see, when I perform my task assignment, it disappears from the display, and if I log on back as me, there's another change activity resulting from the changes I performed, that I need to review change notice task. And again, I can see the process or workflow for the change notice. And there will be displayed information about this specific workflow process for the change activity. So these are my current activity: review, change notice. This was the previous activity, complete change notice, which was executed by another user. So if I complete the task for review change notice, I can finish the change activity workflow and continue with auditing the change notice. So this is about the change management. And as I told you earlier, the main advantages of using change management in Windchill is that all the information related to the changes or all the changes related to the specific item in the database are stored in the one place and distributed through predefined or customized workflow, which can be customized by the process which you are using in your company. Okay. Now let me tell you a little bit about administration tools in the Windchill. So for these purposes, I need to log on as an admin. And first of all, let me show you where you can define the workflows for the objects in the database. And let me show you the change, for example, change activity workflow. So in this workflow template administrator, you can edit the specific or workflow or create a new workflow for the objects in the database. You can define roles for the workflow and any other information which are related to the workflow. And then you can store and assign the workflow to specific objects in the database. So this is the workflow editor window. And there you can see the workflow. If you click on any activity, you can display more information about activity and edit the activity. So edit the instruction, participant for the activity, deadline, and many more information. So by using this workflow template administrator, you can edit the predefined workflow or create your own workflow. Of course, when you edit the workflow, you need to check back the new or check back the modification of the workflows to the database. Okay. Other tools for administrators in your company are the lifecycle administrator, and probably, as you can see, for the objects in the database, I used custom workflow with the name IPM cat and WT parts, or for cat and WT parts, or IPM WT docs for WT documents. And if I see the details for the workflow, I can see that the workflow is composed of 5 phases on 5 phases, and for all the phases there are defined some actions and transition which can be performed by the user. So the first stage of the object is when the object is created, is in work. In this state, the objects are fully accessible by the users, and the users can modify this object. After the object was promoted to the release state, then any changes you can perform the object can be performed only by revising the object to the new revision, so revision A, and for the new revision you can create the modification. There are also the change state, which indicate that objects are currently under change and can be modified, or under review state, which indicates that objects are part of the promotion process, and if the promotion process is not yet completed, the objects stay in the under review state and cannot be modified. So these are I'm sorry, custom lifecycle states. Of course, when you define lifecycle states, you can define object initialization rules. So these are the rules for the objects, which objects load when it's created. And if we open the example of the object initialization rule, for this kind is the object initialization rule for EPM documents. And if I open, this is an XML file with predefined information. So there are information about the lifecycle for my EPM documents is a IPM cat and WT path lifecycle, and the version series for my object is WT series, Harvard series. If I change back to the structure view, I forgot to tell you information about versions of the object. So as you can see, the latest structure of the object, if you click on the structure page, there are displayed the latest structure of the object. So some of the objects are in an initial revision, so is the minus sign, and some of the objects are in a, maybe there are another, yeah, in the revision after first changes performed on the object. So in the revision A. So revision A indicates that there were some changes performed on the object, and you can display this product structure not only in the latest configuration, but you can edit the filter of the structure, and you can display structure based on, for example, baseline. System automatically search for the baseline defined for the object selected, and if I click on the specific baseline, then the structure refresh and display the configuration in given point in time. So as you can see, the top level object and the objects in the lower level are in initial revision. So you can use baseline as a snapshot of a product structure in given point in time. So in time of first release to the customer, or something similar. And you can have another tool, or I can access the object. I can access the object using recently accessed menu, or I can browse the object. Which I want to show you is that, of course, I can perform some compare operation. So if I have displayed the cat structure, I can compare my cat structure with related or associated WT part structure, and the system compares for me these two structures and displays the information which are different for these structures. So because the WT part structure was derived from cat structure, the usage information for the object are the same, so there are no differences. But as you can see, there are 3 other objects in the WT part structure which are not included in the cat structure and which was added to the product structure later after the structure was created from cat. And these are purposes, like I told you earlier, for I don't know, drawing rod, welding rod, for glues, and so on and so on. In this case, these are information about, because in the cat structure there are only nuts, and there are not included the screws and washers, so I can define additional screw and washer information in my product structure. Okay, switch back to the admin tools. So I demonstrated you the workflow template administrator, lifecycle administrator, and the object initialization rule file example. And also in this object initialization rules can be defined the numbering, not only the version schemes, but also the numbering schemes, naming schemes. So the objects can be auto-numbered in database or can be numbered manually in the database. The last admin tool I would like to show you is the access control. Access or access policy. Access policy is defined using the policy administrator, and there are the administrator define access policy for the object, for the specific object in the database, for the users, lifecycle states, and allow or deny the specific actions for the object. So if I want to see the access control for my product, I can order the objects by type, and there I can see that for quickly change the column width, and I can see that for EPM documents in a in-work state, the team members, so these are all team members which are included in the team page, they can modify, create, delete, modify content of the object and other tools. But as I told you, in the release state, when the object or EPM documents are in the release state, team members cannot create or modify the object. They can only revise the object So after the object is realized, it switched to the, in our company, switched to the change state, and as you can see in the change state, you can modify, create, or modify content for the object. So for the, in access control, you can define the type of the object, state of the object, principals, and permissions for the selected principals, which they can perform in for object in specific lifecycle state. So these are a couple of words about administration, and the last thing, I will close the unnecessary windows, and the last thing I would like to show you is the project. So if I use the navigator, I can browse the project. So first of all, I can see the details of the project. So the name of the project, number of the project, owner of the project, and so on. Then I can define the product structure of the project. Of course, I can have predefined project or product template. So if the folder structure is the same for more or all the projects on your company, you can predefine the product structure, and when you create the project or product, the product structure are automatically populated with other information like access control, object initialization, and so on. So I can browse the project, and there can be stored information regarding the project. So this is the contract documents for the ventilator project. This contract document is a part of deliverables for the activity. So I can see these deliverables, name of the deliverable, subject. So this is the specific contract document. And of course, I can store design information in the project, and this information can be new CAD models, or this can be CAD models which are shared from PDM link. And if the models or objects are shared from PDM link, there is an indicator in the status column that these objects are shared from PDM link. And if I have access to the product and I click on the object, this shows me information about this object. So like in PDM link. So if you share the object from PDM link, you can define the access control based on this object, and you can collaborate on a project design with your partners or with your customers, and share the data from PDM link for them only for reading or also for modifying it. It depends on the access defined from the project. And also the project have defined theme. So in this case, the project team is composed of 2 people, so me as project manager and Martin Polak as a consultant, but you can define your own role and assign the more users to these roles and so on. And the last thing I want to show you about the project is the project plan page. So you can define the project plan, which is composed of activities and milestones, and you can define the resources for the activities, and if you are a resource for a specific activity, you can see this icon, track work for selected activities, and you can indicate the project manager the status of the project. So I completed my design and I can enter that complete work for this activity is 100%, and I can complete this activity and continue to the new activity. Of course, you can, if you have installed the Microsoft project, you can export this project plan information to the Microsoft project, edit the project plan in the Microsoft project, and then import back the modified project to the Windchill. And in the Windchill, you can control and manage the execution of the project by defining the actual work or defining resources and so on. So the project link, the main purpose of the project link is for executing the project. Of course, you can add activities. I'm sorry. To timeline, and you can see the timeline of the project. In the timeline view. So I can see the timeline of the project. Maybe it's not displayed because the project is not yet started, so I don't have the timeline displayed now. Okay, this was today's demonstration about the Windchill capacity.